Shadow football. Let's be honest. How bloody good was this round of knockout games? I did not expect all 4 games to be so incredibly pulsating in every single way possible. I'm so happy I took time off work for the rest of the tournament, as I cannot wait to watch the semi-finals. Will England change up their backline and get it together for the tough test of Italy, or will Italy's fight, passion, and genuinely underrated attacking quality be enough to down the defending champions? We all know how Spain are going to play, no surprises there, but can they overcome a dogged yet spirited Germany side who have had such terrible luck with defensive injuries they were forced to play Cini and Acerci at left back against France? But before we start thinking about the semi-finals, let's round up the quarterfinals. I made a video about this game, so please go check it out. ABBA and the Beatles played out a thrilling 2-2 draw after 120 minutes, with England taking 79 minutes to start playing football and ended up scoring 2 goals in quick succession in normal time. England build up like so. Lucy Bronze pushes forward to leave the 3 defenders back, with Alex Greenwood tucking in. Keira Walsh performs the Ringo Starr role in the team as the lone metronome, with Stanway pushing higher up and given a lot of space to freely roam about. Toon and LJ are both given free roles as well, as Alessia Russo will often drop back and link everyone up. Knowing this, Sweden stopped the build-up at the source, regularly putting a player on each of the 3 Lioness defenders. Kosovare Asllani was also given the task of cutting off any kind of passing lane to Keira Walsh. She gets a touch of the ball, disrupting the build-up, and Walsh tries to chip a smart ball over to Stanway but doesn't see the safer option of Greenwood over here, and Angeldal nips in to win the ball. Carter didn't think Williamson was going to get to Blackstenius in time, so heads there herself instead, but turns her back to Asllani for her to slot in the opening goal of the game. Sweden kept pressing England whenever they had the ball, and it was Angeldal again winning the ball from her former club teammate Lauren Hemp, and Zigioti Olme plays a magnificently weighted ball for the space Blackstenius loves to attack. Carter doesn't have the pace to keep up, but Williamson here starts jogging back this way to cover any potential threat in the box, which turned out to be absolutely none, instead of continuing her run to track Blackstenius, which I believe she would have got to had she continued running there. Stina puts the ball in the back of the net, which justifies her selection in my EAFC 25 Ultimate Team starting lineup. Sweden kept pushing for a third, and whilst they had a couple of really good chances, they lacked ruthlessness, as I got the feeling that they were happy with a 2-0 lead. The turning point of the game was undoubtedly the note that Esme Morgan brought on as she made her major tournament debut for England. Now, not many of you will know this, but I am actually best friends with Serena, and she told me the note said something along the lines of, "You need to score 2 goals to stay in the game." So, just like the Beatles, these 4 broke up and England changed to a 3-4-1-2, with LJ moving into a central midfield role alongside Keira Walsh. Greenwood picks up the ball here and looks for Russo because she obviously saw the 11-minute video I made on how good Russo is at holding the ball, and Chloe Kelly whips the ball in for Lucy Bronze to head home. Game on. Bronze was completely unmarked, and it was Madeline Yanogi's job to watch her, but the winger failed to do so and England now have a route back into the game. Literally 1 minute later, Chloe Kelly runs in behind and cuts back. Mead goes up for the header and Michelle Adjemang, who was brought on to create chaos, slides the ball in the back of the net as England remarkably draw level in a game they didn't look like winning. The game then went to penalties as Chloe Kelly delivers the coldest penalty I have ever seen, literally taking the piss as she converts her penalty expertly. Hannah Hampton deserves a statue as well, and England squeezed past a Sweden side that played well but lacked that little bit of ruthlessness, proving that the Beatles are indeed the best band in the world. Switzerland and Spain played out pretty much how we all expected it to play out tactically. The Swiss sat back in a 4-4-2 and Spain were tasked with finding the holes in their defense, which turned out to be much harder than finding holes in their cheese. It took Spain 65 minutes to find a leak in the Swiss defense, as Patry plays a ball into Bonmati, with neither Valti nor Vallotto rushing in to close this passing lane down. Bonmati has the ball with her back turned to goal and Noel Maritz is doing a good job of keeping her out, but Caligaris needlessly shoots out to try to poke the ball away, as the space she left behind is exactly the space Atenea del Castillo runs into after receiving a magical backheel, but not as good as the one by Russo 3 years ago, and Del Castillo puts Spain ahead. Their second came from Leovaldi cheaply losing the ball to Patry, and Claudia Pina curls one into the top bins to put the game to bed. Switzerland fought hard. They were strong, valiant, but they weren't able to hold on to the ball in the opposition half as Spain pressed aggressively to try to win the ball back as soon as they lost it. Spain remained patient and took their chances when they came. Switzerland should be very proud of themselves. They played well throughout this tournament and did well to make it this far. Special mention has to go to Geraldine Reuteler, who has been magnificent. Hopefully this tournament can boost more interest in the women's game in Switzerland as it did for England when they hosted the last one. And now we head over to Basel for France against Germany. This was a great game to watch as a neutral. Remind me never to take dating advice from a German, because I don't think this is what you're supposed to do when you're trying to pull a girl, as the only person writing her number down would be the referee. Grace Gioro steps up and converts the resulting penalty and red card. Things got even worse as Sarai Linder had to come off due to injury as Sophia Kleinhorn came on as all the defenders available for Germany were now on the pitch. Germany then dropped into a 4-4-1 shape, but they weren't defending deeply, rather holding their shape really well and pressing French ball holders wherever possible. Giovanna Hoffmann was used as an outlet to exit their own half as she battled hard against the robust duo of Mbokbathi and Leclerc. Franziska Kett, who had an outstanding game, dribbles her way out of trouble and passes to Clara Bühl, who then releases Hoffmann up front as she wins a corner off Mbokbathi. If we look at this here, Nusken was stood in front of Pero Magnon to challenge her. Elisa de Almeida must have thought that this was her lucky day as there is absolutely no one near her to mark as she watches the front edge of the 6-yard box, so she doesn't even pay attention to Nusken. But Nusken shoots forward in front of de Almeida and heads Germany level. From then on, Germany stayed in shape, and France couldn't find a way through. France's attacking system is very fluid, with the front three, Karchaoui, Gayoro, Basha, and de Almeida all given the freedom to interchange positions and drag the German defense out of position. But they ended up getting in each other's way, or their movements weren't picked up by their teammates. They looked better when Katoto came off for Matteo and Mallard, who interchanged between playing as the number 9, as Katoto was too static, which made it easy for Rebecca Knack and Janina Minga to mark. Here she is hiding behind Knack as there is a huge space in front of her to link up. But this game, and this day, was all about Germany. This penalty shootout was a lot easier on the eyes than the England-Sweden one, as Sjoeke Nusken and Elisa Sens were massive throughout the game, putting in a huge shift in the middle of the park. Janina Minga also put in an amazing performance, as did Jule Brand, who looked knackered throughout but kept going and gave everything to the team. But everyone will be talking about Anne-Katrin Goddamn Berger. Wow. What a game she had. From keeping out point-blank headers to her own captain's header to converting her own penalty in the shootout and saving the decisive penalty. I think we need to start a petition to rename every single Burger King joint in Germany Burger Queen. This was a massive win for the Germans as they set up a mouth-watering semi-final against this irresistible Spanish side. The stage is set. England against Italy. Germany against Spain. I cannot wait. I love football.